If you'd like to know how to personalize your dynamic screens, add tiles to your workspaces, edit workspace shortcuts, and show or hide additional fields on forms, you have found the right video. I'm Libby, and I'll be your host for this one. I'll break it into 5 parts for you, and you'll find the chapter markers in the description below. Shall we get started? The tiles that we see on our home page will largely be defined by job role and security settings. However, you may still wish to remove some tiles that you don't always use, or move them around. The quickest way to change any one tile is to right-click on the tile, select the personalization option, and then mark your chosen action, such as hiding it in this example. To perform more tasks, or perform the hide operation for more tiles, you can select the personalization option from the setup menu. When the menu appears, select the hide option. Then select all the tiles that you wish to hide. Those selected will be highlighted. Then close the personalization menu, and your screen will be refreshed to reflect the new setup. To return a tile that was previously hidden, just repeat the steps. Select the personalization menu and the hide function again. Now deselect those that you'd like to see again. Then close the personalization menu. Next, let's move some tiles around. Open the personalization menu again, and this time select the move option. Click the required tile once. Then click and hold, and drag the tile to your required new position. You'll see a marker behind the tile, indicating where it will be dropped. If you get a bit confused or lose track, select the clear option. You access this via the 3 dots on the personalization toolbar. Acknowledge the message, and then you can start again. That's a good introduction to get you started on the home page. Next, we'll look at adding a shortcut to the workspace tile. We know that when we navigate to an individual workspace, we see a number of tile shortcuts. These tiles represent preset filters of related list pages, or relevant data. For your most frequently used tiles, it may be useful to have these links on the home page. For example, perhaps I want to regularly view unposted, free text invoices, so I'd like the link to be readily available in multiple places, including my home page. We'll use the customer invoicing workspace for the examples in this video. To add the link, right-click on the tile and select the Personalize option. Then select the checkbox called Pin to Dashboard. Now let's return to our home page and see what that looks like. And here it is. This link will now take me directly to the unposted free text invoices. You can repeat this process to add any tiles from your workspace as a shortcut on your home page. To remove a link, right-click on the link and select Personalize. Then select the Remove option. That's all for this short chapter. Next we'll get into workspace personalization in more detail. Let's turn our attention to editing the workspace. I'll use the customer invoicing workspace again for these examples. First, I'll focus on the main tiles and the changes we might like to make there. Like we saw before, while you can point at a tile directly and use the right-click option, I generally find it easier to always use the Personalize option from the settings menu for consistency. So let's open the toolbar. To hide a tile, the process is the same as we had on the home page. Select the Hide option, click on one or more tiles that you'd like to remove, and then close the toolbar to confirm. We can repeat the process to bring the tiles back again. The next option is to move the tiles around. Open the toolbar again, and select the Move option this time. Single-click the tile you want to move, to activate it, and then click and drag the tile to its new position. Close the toolbar. The hide and move functions also work on other areas of the workspace, including the links at the bottom of the form. I'll let you practice those for yourself, as the process is the same. However, I'd like to walk you through changes to the list pages in the middle of the workspace, as the process to change this is a little different. Each of the options, or tabs, at the side of the list page, represent a different list, or view. We can remove those that we don't use, and change the order. Let's bring up the toolbar again, and select the Hide function. When I point at the tab that I'd like to remove, you will see a small box appear to the left. Single-click the tab to select it, then you must select the box to confirm, like this. Don't be alarmed when the whole section goes orange, as this is just confirmation that this particular list page tab will be removed. The others will all remain. I'll choose one more to remove. One click to select the tab, and one to confirm in the checkbox. Close the toolbar to update the form with the changes. Our 2 tab pages have been removed. Finally, if you would like to change the order of the list pages presented, we can do that too. Open the toolbar and select the Move option. Single-click the tab to select, and then mark the checkbox as we did before to confirm. Now, the tab page will change to show a dotted gray line around the outside. You can now click and drag the tab page to your preferred location. Take your time here as the checkbox can be a little fiddly to select with the mouse. As usual, close the toolbar to confirm your changes, or remember you have the clear function too if you just want to reset things. That's all for this chapter on workspaces. Next, now let's make our workspace really tailored by adding new tiles, lists and links. We'll stay on the customer invoicing workspace for our next example. Rather than remove or move elements, I'd now like to add my own tiles, lists and links. I have tiles here for orders shipped and orders on hold. But I'd also like a tile to represent open orders. My first task is to navigate to the data I'd like to view, and set my filters as needed, so I'll go to the sales order list page. This default view of sales orders shows all status including open, delivered and invoiced. I only want the open ones in my view, so I'll set a standard filter. On the Options tab in the Action pane is a feature called Add to Workspace, but it is currently grayed out. This is because I first need to save the view with a custom name. Select the drop-down by the name, and then select the Save As option. Give your view a name, all open orders in this case, and then save it. Now the Add to Workspace option is available to me. Select the drop-down. Now select the workspace that you would like to add it to. You can type to help the search. I'll select Customer Invoicing as my chosen workspace. Finally, you can now choose if the view should be added as a tile, a list, or a link. To save a little repetition, I'll do one of each while I'm here. I'll do the tile first. Select Configure, confirm the name, or edit if you wish, and select the tile size. I'll go with the default. To finish, select the Add to Workspace button. Now select a list. When choosing a list, you are able to select the fields that are shown on the workspace, up to a maximum of 8. I'll leave the default settings for now. Finally, I can add the view as a link. Again, you can edit the name and assign it to a group, but I generally just add it as a default placement, and then use the workspace tools to move it later if required. Okay, let's head over to our customer invoicing workspace and see what we have. The tile is here. The list page is here. And finally the link is tucked down here at the bottom. 3 ways to access the same thing. Notice that when you first add new features like this, Dynamics may take a few seconds to refresh the values on the tiles and the records in the list page. Of course, if you're not completely happy with the layout, you can use the Personalise toolbar to shift things around. And did you spot my small mistake? I didn't give the list page the correct name. No problem, I'll do a quick personalization using the right-click option and correct it. That's better. Note there is no restriction on which feature you add to which workspace. There is also no restriction on adding the same view to multiple workspaces, if that fits your needs. Okay, now we need to get into the main forms and see what changes we can make there. Let's complete this video by going one layer deeper into the main forms, list pages, and the master records. We'll start with the sales order list page. List pages typically show a sensible view of common data, but often there will be gaps that have no data at all, and maybe there are some fields that you would like to see that are missing. Let's cover these 2 scenarios first. You can see on this view that 2 fields are blank, so let's hide these. As we've seen before, there are 2 ways to do this. Either point at the field, right-click and select the personalization option. Or, select the main toolbar from the settings icon in the top right corner. If you have 1 or 2 changes to make, it is quickest to do them directly on the field. If you are making many edits, or adding new fields, use the toolbar. I'll go the quick route here. Right-click, Personalise, Hide. And repeat on the other field. Right-click, Personalise, Hide. Now that the fields have moved to fill the gap, I can see a 3rd field that has no data. Let's lose that one too. To get the fields back, I'll go via the toolbar option this time. When I select Hide, the hidden fields are highlighted, and I can click on them to unhide as required. What about adding a field, say the order currency? Bring up the toolbar as normal and select the Add option this time. Next, click in any location on the list page, it doesn't matter where, as the field will always be added to the rightmost location, and we'll move it afterwards. After a few seconds, the full field list will appear on the right. Search for your field, select it, and then update the form. You can make multiple selections in one go. Now we have a change to the process from earlier in the video. Notice that the name of the view has a star next to it, indicating unsaved changes. We must save the view with a new name for our design changes to be saved. If we don't, our changes will be lost as soon as we exit the form. Open the view, select Save As, and then provide a name. If you want your new design to be the default view when you open the form, activate the default view slider before saving. Let's go back to our home page, and reopen the form to be sure that our new changes are implemented. Great, this is now our saved view. Now let's drill down into one sales order. When presented with fields on fast tabs, like here on the header, you can hide these in the same way. Right-click on a field, select Personalise and then Hide. Or, use the main toolbar for larger updates, or to unhide previously hidden fields. Again, note the View option highlights that an edit is made, and you'll need to save your changes to the form. The final piece of personalization in this video relates to fast tab abbreviations. I'll go to a customer record for this one. Do you remember these on the fast tab header? If you would like to change them to something more meaningful for you, then we can. Simply find the required field on the main form, right-click, Personalize, and then select the checkbox, Show in Header. To remove an entry, hover over it to see the full field name. Here I have Sales District. Personalize that field, and remove the checkbox. These changes also require the view to be saved. So we've covered a lot in this final chapter, and in the whole video. Thanks for sticking with me. There are so many more options and advanced features that we hope to cover in additional videos on the channel. But what you've learnt here should cover the vast majority of changes that you're likely to need as a regular Dynamics user. Just remember, the key difference on the main forms is the need to save your view before exiting.